Hey everybody. How's it going? My hair's all poofy from the rain. Yeah. Okay, so reading these comments, I promised Lucy a bone, so I had to run upstairs and get her one. Sorry, I'm a minute late, but she says it's worth it. So I had to pause my Patreon sub for a bit because I'm striking and broke. Probably in the UK. This is an NHS strike. Heard about that. Tempted to hustle up. Yeah, it's only $1. Everybody in the Patreon gets access to the Discord. I feel like I haven't updated the Discord terms since I actually started it. And I have been thinking about doing it for $2, like really raising the price up, with inflation and all. But no, one thing that I have been doing with my channel, which, it's interesting, as we approach the 200 sub mark, I'm funding cool videos with your Patreon bucks, knowing that they're most likely not going to make any money back, which is kind of the goal. That's the target, right? Is like, that's why Patreon exists. Might not be the best idea only doing that for growth. And so one thing that I've been thinking about quite a lot is like, well, I get so many offers to do paid promotion, like little 90-second, 60-second ad integrations. Each one typically is more for one quick 60-second ad integration. Each one is typically more than I would get in a month on Patreon. Like, those offers are big. I have not found one with a company that I feel personally attracted to. Like, I feel like, Perfect Circuit, they work with me very well. They don't pay anything that high, but they work with me. Pretty much whatever I want to do, if it involves them, they're on board. So things like that, and they're very in line with like the content I make, and they also give away a ton of stuff. They have great deals, they give me coupon codes that I can then pass on. But something like a VPN, I feel like any good VPNs aren't spending money on marketing like that. They're just providing the best service as possible. And so, anyway, so I was thinking about, I don't know, trying to squeeze an extra bit out of the Patreon by bringing it up to $2 a month, because that would put me over the edge on some content where I would just rather not work with a sponsor unless it is very relative to what I'm doing already. Like if FL Studio was sponsoring this stream, because I'm doing sound design in FL Studio, which, I do work with them. However, I'm not, they're not paying for this stream or anything. I haven't received any money for any streaming on this Alpha Basic channel thus far. So, yeah, so whatever. It's always an interesting experiment. Like, to now be like, okay, I can predict what videos are not going to do well just because YouTube's algorithm knows that my YouTube subscribers are into audio stuff, and they're into music stuff. They're into being angry. That is one thing. The algorithm knows that people are into being angry about something. Behringer, Ian Urbina, the animal one. I'm just thinking like the videos that have performed the best. The LRAD video, like the ones, if you look at my like best performing videos, most of them make you angry. And so it's kind of like, I don't want to make you angry all the time. So yeah, anyway, my point being, I'm learning to fund, the videos that I know aren't going to do well, like the neurofeedback video. That one's performed terribly, but I knew it would, and I still want to make it. And so, yeah, anyway. What else do we have? I'm trying I'm trying my best to like grow without actually doing the integrated ad thing, and it is not. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the integrated ad thing. I understand why other channels do it. I'm just trying this out instead because it makes me feel good, makes me feel happy. What else? Hello. Just found out Benn posted the actual video in Sim Selections last night. Yeah. So the video that you see here, you're not looking at a screen right now. I'm silly. You're just looking at me. The video that we're going to be sound designing is already up on the Discord and on my Patreon. You'll be getting this sound design file as a separate WAV file. And for anybody who doesn't know what's going on, I need to like consolidate my thoughts really fast just so I don't say anything that I shouldn't say because some things have not been announced yet. Okay. Make sure I don't get in trouble. So I have filmed a video with my dad, just of my dad. You're about to see it. We're about to sound design it. It is the point of me filming it was to make a video that that could be interpreted in a lot of different ways. It could be scary. It could be a mystery. It could be, I guess it could be pretty because it's in nature. There's a lot of different ways that you could interpret it. And what I want my Sim Selections / Discord members / Patreon members to do is score it and write their own music for it. And I'm trying to treat it a little bit like an actual scoring job would work. And so this involves, I guess, much like an actual scoring job, the sound design's not coming with the original video. You're getting that track later. Nobody's allowed to edit the video. Nobody's allowed to put their own LUTs over the video, only audio. You have unlike most sound design jobs, you have the option of including or not including the sound design in your submission. I would prefer that you left the sound design in, but you do have the option of lowering it because I want you to pretend that this is an actual scene in a Netflix show or something like that. Because one thing that I think most people are going to instinctively want to do is have their music be really loud and have the sound design not there or the sound design lower so it could be heard. And I think that does work in like There Will Be Blood. That's a good example of a film score where that is just so loud and it works because it is a hyperbolic film score. So I feel like it does work sometimes, but usually subtle is better. If you don't notice it, if I'm not noticing that something is happening in the music, then that means it's a good film score. Usually, if you're watching a movie and you're getting the chills and you're like, wow, this score is so good right as soon as it starts, that's actually not a good film score. That's just a good song that was written for the movie. What did I just watch? But it's the, oh my God, I can't think of any names. The Chris begins with an N. Christopher Nolan movie about World War II. Anyway, yeah, somebody's going to mention it in a minute. It's a very popular movie. I'm waiting for it. Dunkirk. Thank you. So Dunkirk, I was watching Dunkirk and I actually, I couldn't tell you the melody of any of that score. I actually didn't like the movie that much, but I did think the score was incredible. And I knew it would be Hans Zimmer, of course. But I was like, yeah, this score, is just making me almost nauseated with tension. And it's doing such a great job at that, of just being because at some point I was like, what's going on in this score? I was trying to actually pay more attention to the score than the movie. And, and I was like, this is really, really interesting use of rhythm. And yeah, anyway, so that's what scoring is. So, let's open up my thing here. It's kind of funny because I feel like it would just be the most absurd thing in the world to do sound design in FL Studio for some people, but I've always done it this way. And I have same with scoring. I've always done it in FL Studio unless there was some very, very specific reason why I couldn't. And we're talking hundreds and hundreds of television ads, TV shows, things like that. And so if I'm doing sound design, there is something that I do typically that I don't think is really needed for scoring. So sound design, I will have the original track have a click to it. The video track, I will render the video myself with a click track to it. And it sounds like that. So this is actually isn't the session. And then what I will do is click the metronome and make sure that it syncs up, because sometimes video files, this isn't so much of an issue now that computers are a lot faster than they used to be. But something that will happen from time to time, especially on older machines doing this 15 years ago, is your video file would slowly drift a little bit. And so it seems generally fine here. It is actually drifting a little bit. Let's see if it drifts if I play it here. Not enough to matter. But we may hear a drift when we load in a bunch of samples and instruments. And that's just a thing that happens. This is just my way of getting past that conveniently. Yeah, and so this is cool. So another thing, if you are scoring this, the reason why I edited this, now this won't actually happen in real life scoring jobs, but I did edit that. I edited this making sure that every cut is on a 16th note of 120 BPM. That allows you to do it at 60 BPM and have it just kind of gives you a little bit of an easier time reaching cues, because cues are actually really good. That's probably the hardest part about scoring. So at 60 BPM, if you wanted to do it at 90, um, 150, so you're still going to be hitting a lot of those. And then, of course, like if you want to go crazy, you go up to 180. So yeah, but and also 120 is fits very well with actual time with seconds. Oh, right. So this video is starting at 2 seconds in. So that, as you notice, it's I've just already set that up before I started the stream. And as you can see, the time code down here, it's already at 2 seconds in. So that's, yeah. I just lined that up before I started. I didn't really anticipate talking about this as much as I am. So okay. So sound design. One dumb thing that I am broadcasting the FL Studio window and not Soundly. Anybody who has ever used Soundly, maybe I should do both. Let me actually set that up this way, because I want you guys to be able to see Soundly. That would be actually desirable. So I'm just going to do a whole display capture here. Make sure I don't have any weird NDA stuff. And it's kind of funny because I had a Western Digital drive that died. It was a Western Digital drive that had a, let's see, can we see my start menu here and everything? Okay, cool. A Western Digital drive that died tragically. Not a big deal though, because it was RAID. and it was just a RAID pairing drive. And yeah, and this is just, I feel like I've already warned people about this so much, but this is a real thing. So, you know, you buy this drive, you basically buy double the hard drive space for backing up and all that stuff. And I was like, all right, this is pretty easy. You know, I'll just pop another drive in there and then copy it over, and it'll automatically do it. And within a day, I'll have all my files back. They have a chip that you need a special chip to read the files. So when I just pop that file into a normal SATA drive, nope, it was encrypted. It was like unreadable. And it didn't even work with newer Western Digital RAIDs. Like I actually had to, I would have had to have bought a vintage, you know, whatever, a 5-year-old RAID drive on eBay, which of course were going for more than you would expect because other people were in this situation. And so I just decided that my sound library wasn't worth that much. And yeah. Okay, so open air. But I was able to weirdly enough, I had the sound ideas. I had like the entire sound ideas library. And oddly enough, torrents were able to save me on that. Like, weirdly enough, just across the internet, a bunch of people had uploaded, I would say like 50% of the sound ideas libraries that I had, that I do have CDs of from way back in the day, but you know, how long would that take? So Soundly it's a subscription service to their own sound library, but you can also load in all your own sounds. And so you can, like, you know, forest, quiet, no birds. That's probably a little bit too quiet. That's like almost as quiet as the forest that I recorded last year. Was that last year? 2 years ago. The burning one. Something a little quieter than that. Yeah, the BBC stuff's old though. This is okay. I kind of want wind though. Forest. Wind. Morning ambience. Ooh, perfect. I love this. It's like very... The reason I don't want a bunch of like singing birds is because it does change the mood of things. Like then it kind of seems Disney-like, right? So you could just drag and drop that in there, and we have... Turn off the metronome here. Hold down Alt. Now we're going to have an even quieter... Now, obviously, these aren't the volume levels that I'm going to do. So Soundly is a... Man, before this, I'm trying to remember the one that I used to use. God, I paid like $500 for a license for the old one. Soundly, yeah, it's free. I don't know. I mean, it's worth it. If you work in any... Like, I'm a subscriber just because of my YouTube channel, just because it gives me, like, random UI sounds and things like that, and it's so easy to just go through it. This is nice. One of the rules that I've followed myself is to never use my own sounds in work that isn't my own, unless it's Foley, unless I'm recording it for the sole purpose of doing that. And that's because it's very, very hard to like go to a swamp and record field recordings and stuff like that, and then have a library of 100 sounds and just clump it in there and then make a decision of what the best sound is. Like, because I recorded that one with an ambisonic microphone and I remember it and I can make it work. And what you end up doing is just, you have this biased take on this really important choice that, you know, it just makes your work worse as a result. So, but yeah, obviously Foley's a different story. If you have something super specific, you're going to have to do Foley. Some of these we could reuse as well. Maybe one a little bit. We don't really want wind on that. Yeah, let's get the wind out of here. Forest floor. Probably organize these by time. That's rain. Okay. Maybe. We're going to have to start bringing in a creek here as well. And we'll do that creek separately. These will just be the background ambience. I'm going to add a sound design file. So, yeah. No extra video. You're just going to put it in there. That way you could mix how loud you want it, or how, you know, that way it's easy to do that way. Kind of like this better. I don't like that howl, whatever that was. Perfect. Okay. Forest. That's not really a waterfall. It's more of a stream. Let's take a look at that. Nah. This could be a good contender. No, that's... Yeah, that's too big. Creeks are hard, man. Ooh, there's a cicada, though. This one might be our best option. Yeah, I like that. So we're going to want to cut this into 2 different parts. We're going to want it to be the same water. I gotta pee all of a sudden. Okay. So this one can be right up close. And I'm going to separate this into 2 files. I'm going to clone it. This one can be panned a little bit differently. We're going to want to keep the ambience on, but actually, so yeah, I'm going to have these. What's going on with this little thing here? Right to there. Perfect. Wrong tick. That's where it begins. Okay, so we might not have to go into the mixer here. Yeah, you can like reverse the polarity, which is actually pretty powerful for this type of thing. I feel like a lot of people don't even think about that, like with this in mind. Like this, so the difference again would be that versus like it actually sounds like a different shot. You could also swap the stereo, which is pretty cool. Then pan it over a bit. And then if we bring this into the mixer, we could obviously change the stereo wideness, which I might do, but I'll save that to the end. I kind of want to just keep everything, you know, looking at it for now, rather than, I could speak English probably if I wanted to. I just want to keep everything in line, easy to. What is wrong with me? Am I having a stroke? I don't want to open the mixer window yet because I feel like it would be too much, especially for a 1-window screen that we're using here for this stream. There, I did it. I spoke a sentence out loud. Okay, now I'm gonna. Maybe I will clone this as well. And then we will want to clone this yet again for a very quiet one. And number 3. Okay. Very quiet. And panned over here. Maybe this one, is this number 3? This one can have. Yeah, sound design sucks. I wish I remembered his name, but if you go back on my stream, if you go back like a year and a half ago, on my Patreon streams back when they were on my normal channel, I had the sound designer for all the Matrix films on as a guest, and he was, yeah, he did a lot of it in Metasynth, which is like, imagine doing this. I mean, obviously, I don't think he was doing like all the editing in Metasynth, but like, geez. I want to have these, I would like to have these actually in order, in case I need to get to them later, but I probably don't need to actually. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. All right. And now we can take this stream. We're going to have to use this stream a whole lot. Oh, you mean the... That clip. Yeah, that could be solved probably by doing this. Maybe, maybe not. It's either the way one ends or the way another begins. If it's that big of a problem, like if this is a continuous issue, then one way that I deal with it is I just bring it into something like Cool Edit Pro, or now Adobe Audition, and zoom in all the way down to... Still clippy. Yeah, it's the end of this one where that problem is. And it's because it's ending... Yeah, that solves it. It's because it's ending... If you look at the waveform, if you went way in and looked at the waveform, it's like the end would be right here, and the waveform would be like really high. Like the you want it to be on a rarefaction, not a peak. Now we're going to have a little bit of space here. So I'm just going to do this, and we'll just randomize it. Yeah, we have another one. Annoying. How about now? Yeah, that'll do it. It's and it's like, you know, this is almost like obsessively, you know, that's, you don't actually have to really worry about this that much. It's not like, especially because these volumes are going to be leveled out better. There we go. All right. Yeah. And we're in, what, 10 seconds in? The water is, I think the footsteps, well, I did UVI, I told UVI that I was doing this, and they sent me Walker 2. I'm kind of excited about that. I looked at it for a moment and I was like, oh my God, I am really annoyed that this exists now, not 10 years ago when, I mean, maybe it did and I just didn't know about it, but yeah, I was like, when I think about the footsteps that I cut and Jesus Christ, or the Foley that I did, I was just like, my God, yeah, I would say the worst being like the most work of a sound design job that you would never really expect that I've done in my life would be a bike. It was a Dove ad, and it was like a 60-second Dove ad, and the entire thing, this kid was riding a 10 speed, and oh my God, Think about all the sounds. Think about the pedaling, and then when you stop pedaling, and then you have that clicking, and then yeah, I mean, just think about the mechanics of a bike and then like emulating that with sound. And you can't just do Foley with it. It's not like you could just take a bike and record those exact movements. It was really difficult. Like I probably had like 250 tracks or something like that just for that little like riding a bike down the street scene. A little bit lower. Where are we at? Up here in the corner, you could see literally one at like 1%. Okay, great. And we need some new ambience. Oh, wow. How about that? Perfect. That didn't take long. I was like, no, not another ambience hunt, but we got it. Little bit less. Ooh, you know what? Let's do a metal squeak. Ooh. All right. Very, very subtle metal squeak. Oops. And we want it panned to the right a little bit. Let's see. I mean, this could just be overboard, but maybe let's cut into the sound halfway through. Like act like we're cutting into the sound already existing. Sometimes that works to make things not as purposeful sounding. There we go. Perfect. Maybe just a little less. Yeah, there we go. Plus, we don't want too much of that. I mean, I feel like that could make it more difficult for the score too. All right, so let's do a. Where are we now? 17 seconds, and the next scene will. Oh yeah, we got this. So that. Let's do that, and then. We're going to have to score the wooden Jesus here. Oh, some sort of sound like that. Can we get away with something this loud? No. Yeah, I like this sound too much. I'm going to make a copy here. Yeah, I like it's not haunting. I don't know how to describe it, but I guess we could get rid of the stream entirely. I would prefer this being a different color. Just whatever, just a slightly different color. Damn it. There we go. Okay. Okay, perfect. Let's figure out where that ends, and then let's see how everything's standing up to now that we're get our heads out of the weeds a little bit and make sure that this all seems realistic. A funny thing about sound design that making it, like, for anybody thinking that it's like the most difficult thing in the world, a funny thing about sound design is that it just, a lot of times it's really easy to just make stuff sound convincing. Like a lot of times it's just like, wow, that works perfectly. Your brain just likes syncing things when you watch it. Okay, so we're 21 seconds in. Let's take a look. Okay, first criticism, that could be way lower. Feeling that. I think we do need an ambience track for this. This thing here needs to be omnipresent. So I'm going to bring that in. It will be number 2. Yeah, there's no reason why, just because the water's loud doesn't mean that the ambience wouldn't be, right? It's not like the water makes the ambience go down. Also, let's change the color just a bit. Ambience could go down a bit. Just change direction. All right. The first creak sound? You mean right here? This one? Or this one? This one is jarringly loud, but I think it needs to be. Look where the camera is. Yeah. I like how I said jarring right before you did. Jarring's okay. I'm down with jarring. Because, again, look where the camera is, right? It's like literally right there. I'm willing to concede a few decibels. You can get away with that. Okay. I'm going to bring this sound right back. See if we can get away with it. I love it when we can get away with things. Movie magic. No. We'll have to make another copy. What's this one? Oh, that's the metal. Okay. Clone. Man, I'm gonna have to make a lot of copies of this, unfortunately. Back to that shot. There's going to be a lot more, one cool thing about this is that there's going to be a lot more pacing to this once the sound's in. Like, I feel like not having any sound does kind of make it a little drab. And then we have to start with the damn footsteps. Yeah, you kind of can, right? You might know something funny. Will I have the sound file by this evening? I hope so. That'd be cool. That way I don't have to work on this tomorrow. Here's a... Let's see if I could... Okay, here. I don't know if you could hear this, actually. Let me make sure. Yeah, okay, so... Watch me get copyright stricken for my own thing. I'm going to show you this video here. This entire video, and this is stupid. Don't... If you are a creator of any sort, don't ever do something dumb like this. Like, I really... Like, when I made this video this week, I thought to myself and had a conversation with someone saying it would be really fun to do all of the sound design in post rather than just bringing a Zoom recorder and recording the shots from the actual camera, which I could have done somewhat. I would have had to do a little bit of sound design, but like, this is a fun project. I like this. It's good practice. This is a time when I actually shot a music video that should have had a sound person, and I said arrogantly, was like, well, I'm a professional sound guy, so I'm good. This is what I'm doing. And so I brought it back, and then I was like, oh my God, this is really difficult. And yeah, and anyway, so here's, every single thing in this entire 2-minute and 55-second video is either a song or post-production sound design. There was not one microphone on any of these shots, and there's like over 10 people in a film crew for this. So here you go. And I made this music too. So some interesting, while we procrastinate the actual work we have to do, so some interesting things. So before I made this video, I went to the Badlands like a year previous for Arboreal, maybe a little bit more than that, and shot the Undiscovered Colors video, which was all time lapse, 3-person team. And it got like over 1 million views. It did tremendously well for that period of YouTube. Like this is like 2009 or something, right? So, was it? Yeah, 2009. And so I was just super stoked. I was like, well, this is great. This is an amazing way to promote your music. Obviously didn't realize how hard it was to do it. So like this time I was like, okay, well, I'm going to times 10 this and bring this, to the max and do this much more ethereal shoot. And I had this big thing planned. And most flashbulb videos are in the Badlands. They're in Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota. And so this one, I shot this after this. So this was like, all this was the last 2 days. This was using, I feel like I'm just like going through like a family, a family portrait, a family video thing, but so this was using, keep in mind that this is like 10 years ago. So lenses couldn't typically pick up stuff like this without external lighting. And so I had to use a little bit of external lighting, but I rented a Canon 1.0, f1.0 lens, which weighed so much that it had to have its own special mount because there's so much glass in it. I remember being so heavy, and which is why like the aperture is so crazy. Like everything's so far out of focus. And yeah, this is in Chicago. This is on North Avenue in Milwaukee, which is and here we actually had to have her like walk into a cab and be like, hey, I'm just going to close the door and pretend to be drunk. Okay, so this scene, and then this is in Bridgeport. This is where I lived. So this stuff here, all of this is B-roll, 100% of it. The main camera person that I hired had dirt on her lens, or on her sensor, and it was unremovable. It was just utterly terrible, or dust on her sensor. And the funniest thing is every single night she would knock on my hotel room door and be like, Ben, we have to go over the dailies. And I'd be like, the dailies are fine. And she was like, Ben, I just want to go over the dailies on a normal monitor. And I was like, they're fine. I saw them enough. We have enough footage. It's totally fine. Go rest. We got to wake up early tomorrow and get back out there. And sure enough, all of her dailies were fucked, right? So all of this was my B-reel, not the actual photos. And here, right here, I was riding a thin mountain hill. I don't know what you would call it, but I was hundreds of feet in the air, riding this rock thing in the Badlands like a horse, holding this camera rig, and didn't really realize how dangerous it was till I got up there, and then I just got vertigo. And I remember just like trying so hard, and it's probably like 100 degrees, trying so hard to shoot that. And then here, I got stung by a bee or a wasp, and I'm allergic. So I was having an allergic reaction. And I remember like taking a ton of Benadryl that I luckily had in my car and thinking to myself, like, I'm 2.5 hours from the nearest tiny reservation hospital. Like there's nothing out here that would help. Yeah. And I mean, this whole video, due to this being B-reel, this is the moon, but it's just overexposed. This is actually not the sun setting, but I think it's the moon rising backwards, hence the stars. But that like, you could kind of see them in there. But yeah, the whole thing was this just utterly disastrous film shoot that somehow, turned out well, I think. I don't know. Anyway, back to work. Enough. All right, we need this. I'm so tired of making copies of this Ambience, but we got to do it. This is such a good ambience. I feel like when I talk about things like that, when I tell stories, I feel very Rick Beato, even though he doesn't really do that. But I feel like that's like what, if I never watched his channel, that's what I would imagine him doing. Like he would just like talk about old sessions that were difficult or something. Which, I mean, would probably be entertaining, especially if you're a fan of his music. One day I'll stop shitting on Rick Beato. I swear he is a nice guy. Yeah, we have that. Oh, there we go. We could get away with this probably just by cutting it in, not that. Cutting it into a different part of the file. Nope. It's too ambient. We're gonna have to make yet another one. But at least some of these should be reusable. Just pan it a little bit. And you could, of course, automate all this stuff, but I like being like surgically precise. Do I have a favorite? Do I have a favorite classical composer? I don't know, man. That's hard to answer. Because I feel like it's. I just don't see classical as a genre, if that makes any sense. Like, it sounds almost like an arrogant thing to say or something, but like, you know what I mean? Like comparing like the Impressionist era, or, you know, something like Debussy to Bach or Tallis. That's like, that's, it's almost like they're two entirely different types of music. And so to like choose one over the other would be really difficult for me. Because I feel like, I feel like Ravel and things like that are actually, I mean, you know, they sound like jazz to me, but we just called it classical because they were white. I know that there's a lot of ammo in what I just said, but yep, that's what I believe. Yeah, there's like a stomach. My stomach's growling, and I feel like whoever recorded this, his stomach was growling as well. Should be very subtle. Nice. Bring this one back. Just a different clip. Then we'll go back to the stream sounds. I can make unique. I think I'm just trying to be... Well, it's funny because I feel like classical is... It's hard to call all of classical one genre, but I also feel like it's problematic to refer to jazz as... To refer to like... Yeah, to refer to jazz as jazz and classical to classical, right? Because like when you think of like that Tallis and Bach to the Satie and Ravel, when you think of that like leap, or even even Gershwin, right? When you think of that, and I guess then you think of like modern classical, which would be like Steve Reich and stuff. When you think of like the difference between those things, and then you think about the difference of early jazz and how that was so similar to later classical. I mean, it's just, it comes down to it. It actually is more about race than anything else. It seems like a very convenient distinction. And we were making a lot of convenient and crappy distinctions, so. And none of this would matter if jazz, like, I did a short video on this many years ago, but none of this would matter if jazz was not illegal. Like, that was the problem. It's like people were arrested for playing jazz. Okay, this is almost the same brook here, isn't it? Could we get away with that there? Nah. Yeah, we can. And then we'll change ambience because he's obviously in a different place. It's also interesting to do this knowing exactly where the location of everything was, because I was there, you know, and so I have this like three-dimensional view, this 360 view of everything. Like, I know what was behind me and stuff. I feel like that's actually kind of screwing me up a little bit. Yeah, we could actually, so this one, rather than making a copy, we could actually lower this a little bit just by doing this. You could also do that with the panning. But FL Studio's whole fade system's changed as well, so. Works for me. Okay. So we're good on ambience up until 42 seconds in. And then we have longer shots where it should be a little bit easier. The footsteps. Footsteps, we're going to have an issue with these bullets, picking up bullets. Okay, picking up a bullet out of dirt. I think I actually have the bullets down here somewhere. Well, we could try this. I don't think we're going to find a lot of bullet casing. Nah. Yeah, we're going to have to do a lot of searching. This might be good for him bending down. Well, let's try it. No way to know until we put it up there. Not really feeling it. Nope. It was just too sharp. This could be better. There we go. Perfect. I'm gonna need this whole thing. I'm gonna have to find a perfect moment. Oh yeah, nice. Those little tiny rustles are gonna be great. I'm going to do that thing that we do with the metal sign where we kind of come in on a sound. Might be too much of a sound. Wonder what the noise floor is on that. Yeah, this might be our spot. Gotta find more silence. Same thing. I'll make this quieter too, obviously, but I just need to hear it for now. And this'll do it. And then we'll probably have to go to a different, I don't know. We could just pan this differently and clone it. We'll worry about that when we get there. Okay, so this one. Oh, I love that sound. Yeah, we're gonna have to just use a footstep file. Drag on sand. Ooh, that, what am I saying? That last one, that was actually great. We're gonna need this, because he is leaning on metal. Yeah, this one's perfect. I mean, we're just gonna be using fragments of it, but... it's trickier than I thought it would be. The dirt, the metal, the bullet. Ugh. Let's see if we have something like... Sorry, nobody's even seeing what I'm doing here. Sorry about that. Ooh. I just like the ring. Just some... Ugh. Ooh, ooh. Where was that? Yeah, it's gonna be good for the box. Keep that. Although I feel like I'm almost like too excited about that sound for what it is. Okay. All right, so this is too busy. Keep doing that. Yeah, I mean, there's not really a sound for this. It's just movement, like everything else. I do want to keep that around, though, in case we need it. Yeah. Foley competition. So yeah, maybe we could do that in the future. I wonder if there's any. Yeah, he's not really walking on that ever, so. Thanks, Dad, for not walking on that and making my life way harder. How legendary would it be if I was like, when I was actually filming this, if I was like, don't walk on that, it's going to be hard to sound design. But I don't have that kind of intuition. This could be pitched down. Okay. Oh, you know what? Now that I'm not only concentrating on this window, I can detach this, which will make it a little easier to work with. Just more slide and sounds. Perfect. Yeah, Drambo, imagining doing this in Drambo. Forgot about that little bullet part. Little. Pitch those up a bit. When did Rambo 2.0 come out? Wow, not many in there. This is the only one that even remotely fits. And I'm going to have to pitch it up. So it closes when right there. We want resampling. What we can do is I feel like it should just be a little bit higher. Maybe it should sound, maybe it is better not pitched up. Yeah. It's just that it doesn't really. Too loud. Right, I don't know, something in fall in box. There we go. That'll do it. Ah, what have I just done? Oh, pressed Alt F. Every single damn window went away. Right. OBS, there we are. And the chat, that'd be nice to see, I suppose. Windows, what are you doing to me? Okay. This should probably... Okay. All right. I am going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Oh, psh. Hey camera, do you want to actually look at me? Thanks. Yeah, I realized that I had a bunch of Amazon packages out in the rain. Books. Like this one, which a lot of people recommended me after watching or after making the Spotify video. And it's just about like big text I mean, it's probably, I'm sure I'll learn something from it, but it sounds, from the description, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of preaching to the choir by somebody who is a better preacher than I am. Also got to take some pills, read some comments. A lot of pressure. Oh, thank you, Adam. How many people watching this? 36? I feel like it's worth mentioning. I feel like I think it's fine if I say this in the stream. Everybody who participates will get some form of a prize. I think I may have said that on Patreon, but I'm saying it now. There's going to be, I have a feeling that at the end of this month, there's going to be a lot of FOMO just from people who don't participate in these types of things as often, or yeah. And I don't want there to be a lot of FOMO, but I feel like there will be. I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, God damn it. But that's why I'm waiting on the prizes. It's one of the reasons we're waiting to mention it, is because we don't want people just joining just for the prize. We want this to be, we want you to, score a picture and have fun doing it and learn stuff. All right. And now you'll be able to sound design as well. I doubt it. I'm not that great of a sound designer. Or maybe I just don't like doing it. I don't know. I mean, it's fun to do on a stream, but like, yeah, when I worked for a composing agency, every now and then they'd be like, hey, Ben, do you want to do sound design on this too? And I'd be like, do you want to pay me like way more? Because you guys have sound designers. I am going to need to pan this as well. Yeah, next time you watch a movie, pay attention to some of the sounds, because it's like, actually don't, because it's a great way to like ruin a movie. Not because it's usually really good work, but you're just like, God, I can't believe that they spent this much time. Okay, this is the panning automation for this. I like separating these. You don't actually have to, but... All right. Let's just do the... I'm going to finish all the ambience first before getting into the footsteps, because that's going to be its own thing. Okay, we'll save that for later in case we need any extra. Oh, we're going to need more water. Water through metal. Yeah, let's hear the whole thing. Just, where are we? 42 seconds? All right, let's just hear the whole thing really fast just to see if anything jumps out as bad. Okay. Some of these, I like this one. It really makes me think that like some of these recorders have such a high noise floor. Like it's kind of absurd. Whoa, what happened there? That was like a really quiet forest. Damn, now I hear people talking. Maybe it just started out quiet. I'll have to cut this layer. This is a continuous shot. So this will have to make unique and color it a bit differently. That one starts with a punch, doesn't it? Does it end with a punch? That's better. We're going to have to do a lot of blending. Okay. It's kind of important to me that these sounds match because this is a different camera. As controversial as that is. Everything was shot on Anamorphic until this shot. And how I did this shot was a drone that was flying away from him pretty fast, but it was being shot at highest resolution, and it's zooming in so it's digitally zooming in as it's flying away, so the background looks like it's expanding around him. Okay. Maybe I'll start one of those film school YouTube channels. I always get so pissed off about those. Just because I feel like I've listened to so many of them and learned so much from so many of them, but then like actually just wasted my time and learned something that was rubbish because none of them have actually worked in film in any way. And and then I'd be like, oh, okay, that's a cool way. And then I'd try it and find out that no, that's absolutely not the way you do it. Okay. This could be accomplished by just lowering the volume. Okay. There's a shortcut here, which we'll probably just want to skip ahead in the sound. Yeah, not even noticeable. Pan this around a little bit. And volume as well. And now we're going to need one more volume. And then we're going to need a water source. All right, let's look at this stream. Nah. That might be it. Just wonder if, I like this one for above. too aggressive. Okay, so this one's okay. I like this one for the air shots. We need calm water. Not that calm. Brook. Guess I'll just put a filter on that. Maybe I won't need it. Okay. So, we're going to have to make 1,000,000 copies of this one. Because each shot's getting closer to the stream. Farther away. And then we could fade it out. Okay. That's a lot of files. So. Oops, I think I'm editing the wrong file. Am I? Yeah, I need to color these. Usually don't have to do this for music, but when you're getting this nuts with There we go. Nope. Water. Yeah. Okay, this one's going to have to be unique as well. And change that color. Swap the stereo. So it should be the same sample. Not that we're getting tedious or anything. Oh yeah, dope. Make unique. Okay, how does it compare to... Too much. It's a lot of waters. Okay. Okay. That polarity needs to be swapped. Maybe a little bit more wind for that end. Don't want anything ominous sounding. Ugh. Perfect. Maybe not. Yeah, it's better. Okay. Perfect. Have I been invited to work on a film before? Yeah. I mean, I have worked on films. I've scored films. Sound design, no, but I'm not a sound designer. Like, it's not my trade. I've never applied for a sound design job. I've done a couple ads and television things, but film scores, dare I say, that was like what I always wanted to do when I was younger. And still, I mean, like, you know, scoring the films that I love the most to watch would be amazing. And I went out to LA for a few months when I was, oh God, I was probably like 25 or something. Yeah, and I hated everything about that scene. Like, I hated the one-upism and like the whole, yeah, just what you would expect with LA. Like, it was just so different than Chicago was. I felt like nobody was actually working. I felt like everybody was talking about what they wanted to work on. And yeah, and then at the end of the day, once I started working like ads and television stuff, like the budgets that I would get whenever that conversation came up to work on a film, it was always like, you know, I could like work on a television or ad composing thing and make, you know, a demo fee of $350 to $500 a day or something. And if I landed the ad, I would, you know, make a couple thousand. And I could do that shit in an hour. Like, I would just like snap that stuff out really fast. And a film was like, okay, we'll give you $10,000 for 6 months work. It's just like, yeah, I can't really. Sorry. Or even 3 months work. You know, it's just like, that's not really good. One thing that I think is really funny is people would, to this day, people have stolen some of my IMDb credits, which, like, I've never cared about IMDb. I've never, like, I think they say that I'm British on IMDb. Like, I never even, you know, tried to edit my own thing. Because you have to, like, pay them to do that, and I've just never bothered. Yeah, and so it's funny because like people have just like claimed things that I've scored, and they're not like, you know, none of them are like things I'm proud of, but it's just sort of like that's how competitive it is that people just actually just make up, they just lie about what they've done, which tells you it's usually a good sign to get the hell out of that industry. Yeah. Yeah, I did win a Cannes. Okay. So Walker's amazing. I love it. So we got my dad. Yeah, there you go. So it's the wrong year, and I was born in London. Part of me wonders if they do that just because they know that like a lot of people will then pay to be like, you know, because you have to pay to be like a member of it or whatever. And it makes me wonder if people just do that because they have to, knowing that they'll have to then pay to correct it. Like maybe they just make up their own. Because like, I don't know where the fuck anybody would assume that I'm London. Okay, so my dad's walking on forest. This plugin is just bananas. Look at this. Ah, yes, it is my accent. That's not London at all. That's like somebody who just lives in a boat off of Wales. I like writing poems. Yeah, this is so nice. And like you can also I mean, I literally just started playing with this today, so the distance I'm not a huge fan of because obviously it's just adding reverb, but so then the forest, oh wow, so you could add like branches. What? Oh my god. That is so clever. Oh my god. This is so... I am so pissed off that this did not exist 10 years ago. Oh my... I am sorry that I'm like... Look, they even have the metal rattling. Oh my god. This is crazy. Hey, Synth Anatomy, how are you? Wow. Okay, let's get to work. I'm going to play with this a lot more. I might actually take some sound design jobs now because it just got way easier. All right, so what? He has dry leaves. And then I can take some of the high end off, I assume. Wow. Oh, I am Square Pusher's cousin. Oh, wow, I could change the mic too to dynamic. Cardio. Super cardio. Wow, so you could just mic match. Man. Fucking so nice. And then even his outfit. So he's wearing, do we have denim on here? Jeans, thick. Wow. What if he's wearing really tight jeans, like really baggy ones? Okay, so his footsteps probably could be a little lower. I'm like scared that this isn't going to work. Like I'm scared that like this is too good to be true and I'm going to like place it in here and it's just going to... All right, so I guess it's just any C, does it? Okay. Oh, wow. So when you do it faster, okay, so if I do it really slow, but if I do it fast, it actually picks up as if he's running. Wow, that's nuts. Okay. It says footsteps like right there. And we're going to have to do different instances for every shot, unfortunately. Man, this is so nuts. Okay, so oh, actually, no, we don't. Well, I mean, we could do different instances of Walker, but we could just do different parts. That would be different MIDI channels, right? Yeah. So this one could be channel 8. And we will also load Walker for this. And maybe I'll just set a preset. That way I could just change like the cardio pattern or something. I bet there's like even a more sensible way of doing this. I'm just stupid. I saw presets. I swear I did. Well, whatever. I'll just make a new instance because I want to be able to have control over it anyway outside of this plugin. Yeah, I don't think I've ever unloaded something from here. I'm like, how do you just get rid of it? I feel like I've never had that task before. Clear part. Okay. Yeah, this plugin is nuts. I'm like immediately, as soon as I'm done with this stream, I'm going to hit up I have a friend who's a sound designer. Yeah, that's nuts. It's gonna make quick. I seriously, it's funny. I've like outside of that, I was like, we're gonna be going for another 2 hours, but we are certainly not. Okay. One good thing here would be, I wonder if I could edit the release. Good. Okay. That's important. Because we're going to have to like switch that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna actually, since he's not, yeah, I guess he is walking on something other than leaves. I was gonna say I should probably just render this out and then do all the panning separately. Yeah, that way it's all in one shot. So I'll put in markers, I suppose. Yeah, it's funny, I'm just like thinking of like this in general is so weird. Okay, so we are now on steps, bridge. This would be like wood. Do they have wood? Wood deck. Oh, are we soloing? Make sure this is playing the right one. Okay. Let's solo these out. So subtle. Got it. Okay. So footstep 1. Let's turn off footstep 2. Footstep 3. Footstep. Okay. Wow. This phenomenal. I just can't like believe what I'm hearing right now. It's so crazy. It's a little early. Yeah, it's so nuts, man. Next step. Next step. That's another one that's going to require rendering and panning. Oh, sorry, I'm not. He's way out of frame here. That one's a big step. Okay. It looks really out of sync to me, maybe as much as 500 milliseconds off. But yeah, it might be the stream, because it sounds, yeah, it's dead on to me. How accurate is this to the sound in the actual environment? No, it's, the wildlife's pretty loud. This is Georgia. Okay, and now we have a gravel footstep. Leaves and gravel. Dirt road, gravel. Yeah, I don't think there's any time like there's a, you know what, honestly, actually, there were spring peepers when I was recording, like, which are actually quite loud. They're frogs. Those are out right now. Those usually like start on the warmer days and the wetter days now, and then they get really loud in like March, February and March, and then they stop trying to fuck each other. Okay, so this will be a gravelly, leavy world. I wonder if you could add like multiple, let's see, gravel. Yeah, I probably do. Try and find it. Let's see. And yeah, so here. That's how loud it actually was. Okay. Stop. Yeah. And so like that scene. So very loud. In the woods, just... Yeah, but also keep in mind that this was like recorded with a... This was recorded with just... Huh, that one's pretty close. I guess you just hear the stream nearby. Yeah, it's way more streamy. Nope. But yeah, but yeah, keep in mind that that's just like my camera's microphone. Like, it's not going to capture the subtleties of a footstep far away or something. Okay, let's finish these off. I wonder how much this cost. Walker 2. Like, I asked them for the license. I would hedge my bet. I mean, whatever. I'd pay $1,000 for it back in the day. $200? Jeez. Yeah, I'd pay $1,000 for this. Like, any sound designer would. Like, who the hell wouldn't? If this is your job, like, this would make everything. I mean, honestly, this should have taken like 90 minutes by now, and it wouldn't have sounded as good. I'd be cutting up those sound libraries of walking, or I would have had to like go out to the garage and put a bunch of leaves and put shoes on my hands. Okay. Let's see how off that is. It's funny, we actually got his little stumble there almost. Wow. That is so convincing. It is crazy. And these should be, well, these will be turned down once I render it up. That last one could move. That's it for footsteps. No more required. All right. So let's make sure all the footsteps are on time. Nobody in a million years would think that this wasn't recorded. Like, it's so damn accurate. It's so much more accurate than even, like, cutting footsteps apart. Like, I could see it being problematic if, I guess we don't need to render this, do we? I could see it being problematic if, for example, I'm trying to think of like use cases. I guess like a basketball game. I mean, whatever. I could explore the plugin too, I suppose. But I could see it being like you might have to go to traditional sound design for something like that. But other than that, it's pretty flawless. Okay. Let's put all the walkers in channel 6. Oh yeah, nothing else has a channel. Oh yeah, I forgot that these all... Well, okay, let's just do this then. Okay. I mean, I have walking libraries, and this takes way less time. Let's see. All right. All our cues are there. That's handy. Seem to have rendered way longer of a file than I needed. But these cues will be amazing. Okay. Bring this up. Okay. Let's get surgical. That way we could pan all this properly. All right. That's a new shot. Thanks, Mom. Were you going to ask everybody about a PA system? My dad wants a PA system and he needs advice. And I don't know what to tell him because I don't really know that much about PA. I mean, I know a little bit about PA systems, but yeah, my mind's blown by this thing. It's so crazy. Yeah, like literally angry about it. Like I'm angry about this plugin. It's that, like I'm angry about the amount of time I've wasted not having this plugin in the past. God damn. Did we make Walker 4 unique? Yeah. All right. Yeah, those Bose ones are expansive. I mean, honestly, if it's like a PA system, I would just go with like a, dare I say, the Behringer word. But it's like, unless you're actually playing a big venue or something, it almost seems silly to spend more than that. Okay. Reverse polarity on the second one. Yeah, JBL's okay. Yeah, the buy it nicer, buy it twice. However, like with pro audio products right now, it's like gonna be the same. You have to do that anyway. God, I remember being all like proud to finally own Mackie monitors back in the day, and then just realizing how, yeah, just they died very. I have some Mackie monitors upstairs, and they're god awful. They're so bad. They were like soupy. They were super noisy, and then apparently, like, I remember like seeing some reviews after buying them that they were super noisy, and it seems like what they did was like they just put a noise gate on there, but there's like a 100 millisecond delay before. So like if I were doing this, you wouldn't hear anything unless it was on for, you know, like half a second or something. I don't know. I think it's actually a little bit of. Well, I don't think we'll need volume, only panning. He's already a little. Are we missing a step? Oh well. We'll fix that in a minute. This part right here. All right, we're gonna have to re-render that. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, that was good too, because that one's like the one where he tripped up a little bit. What a funny thing to be excited about. Like, oh yeah, we got his little trip going. Let's see. Song selection, leave reminder. Painless. That appears to be better. Okay, so this one we weren't swapping. So this one we probably do want to swap. Oh yeah. I'm like, why do I hear the same thing twice? Let's hear all of this together in one giant harmony. Wait a minute. Am I muting something else that I shouldn't be muting? Yes, I am. Okay. Yeah, okay. I could see some areas that need a little bit of volume adjustment here. Yeah, this should be an Udemy Foley. Okay, so these steps, I like these. Maybe they're too panned. Perfect. Yeah, those need to be way lighter. Perfect. All right. Now let's hear the whole damn thing. And I'm gonna, well, I guess I don't need to mute my mic, but I am gonna turn my headphones up and move the mic away from my face. I know this is probably not synced up for some people in this stream, but... Too loud. Stream's too loud. Right here. Where would the offending track be? Yep. Let's fix those final volumes one more time. Might have to do a few more passes. Yeah, that final noise is a bit crazy. All right, before I hit render, I'm going to do one more pass through. I apologize. Actually, I am going to mute my mic. I'm going to listen to it on my monitors because my headphones are not reliable for low end. So let's give it a go. We did it. Wow. Let's look at that final file. Wow. Get rid of these footsteps over here. Ugh. That's not too bad. Oh. I was like, I feel like I did more work than this. And I just, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a proper sound design. That's a proper sound design file. Oh, cheers. Spilled about a gallon of water everywhere. Let me get a towel. I'll be right back. No electronics, fortunately. And I got a nice blood splattered towel that I just destroyed the other day. I had a bloody nose in the shower and didn't realize it, and then just so. Speaking of Lucy, regarding my mom's content, fortunately this water just went on the carpet. Maybe a little bit splashed onto the front of a sub, but the sub's seen many worse things than that. Sub had a mouse living in it at one point. Anyway, not here, but back in Chicago. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Today I had a couch removed from my living room, and my mom bought Lucy this little, like, merchant's tent. So I could describe it. It's like a carnival tent that, like, a merchant would sell Persian rugs out of in Animal Crossing or something. And I told Lucy to go into her tent, and she did. Like, as I saw the people coming up, and I just put a little throw pillow in front of it. And I think she thought that, like, that was just insurmountable. Like, even though she could have just, like, bopped her head in front of it and gotten rid of it. It was pretty hilarious. I don't know. What's 16 bits fine? I don't think we need to do anything beyond that. That should have rendered everything just fine. Okay. Well, now everybody, let me just look at the sound design file really fast. Just to solo it here. And make sure that it lines up. Yep. Cool. I love that song. I'm so glad I decided to do that. Yeah, this starts at 2 seconds. I can't get over that. I can't get over this Walker 2 thing. Like, I'm like gaslighting myself. Like, I swear I recorded these footsteps. There's a microphone there. Yeah, I am tired of looking at this scene already, and I got a whole lot of work to do with it beyond here. But I'm glad we got the sound design file done. Yeah. So good news. I will put that up into the Google Drive file folder right now. That way everybody can download it immediately. Painting. Score me. There we go. And then I don't know if I'm going to build a video for each submission or if I'm going to just have like a session where I do that. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to just drag and drop shit into Resolve or if I should actually do that, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't think it would be that hard. I could probably, you know what? I could probably also batch process it with something, maybe with like Adobe Media Encoder or something. Maybe I could just batch process the audio tracks as separate. I'm sure there's a way. One way, I mean, or I could just, yeah, how many people? At tops, 30 people maybe. So it could just be like a long afternoon. But yeah. Yeah, and the deadline is or the like time you have to have everything in is not necessarily the day that we're going to be judging them anyway, so it all works out fine. Yeah, but yeah, that sounds nice. I'm excited. But yeah, this stream has been a 3-hour one, so I'm going to go and thank you everybody for watching me sound design the file. I hope that it it's kind of a weird practice. Like I feel like people don't really see much of this on YouTube, so that's pretty cool. When people talk about sound design, a lot of times they're just talking about like effects in a plugin or something, like, but this is what real sound design is, or at least like, film and television sound design. But yeah, I'm excited. It'll be cool. And like I said, the prizes are absolutely amazing. They're incredible. I love it. And my dad is the one choosing the prize. So keep in mind that, like, yeah, it's very subjective. It's not going to be, it might not be the best film scorer wins the prize. It could just be the aesthetic that my dad thought was the coolest. And my dad has some weird taste, so it's not like the superhero one would make him choose that one. So anyway, have a wonderful evening. Thanks for watching. Does my dad have a good sense of humor? Good? Yeah. I feel like most people in this chat would agree that he has a good sense of humor. I feel like the average person at like a grocery store. Okay, let me tell you two examples of my dad's sense of humor. Quickly. One time, it was my birthday in Chicago, and I didn't really care. I tried to not care too much about my birthday. They're usually just stressful. So I had to do something. I was like doing some sort of thing in my house, like installing some sort of shelf. And I was getting really frustrated that I didn't have enough screw, like basically, I don't know how to describe it. Like every screw I was buying or ordering wasn't fitting into the thing that I needed. And so there's this hardware store that just sold a screws for, you know, two cents each or something, bolts, screws, things like that. And so I just went there and I kind of got everything. Like, my dad went with me, and I just sort of went over to like the little screw section. I just sort of got like everything that could possibly match in any way, you know, like this one looks like it might, this is a long shot, but whatever, because it all cost like 5 cents. And so I didn't really care. And while I was doing this, my dad was telling a person who worked there, that it's my birthday and they're allowed to take me out of the mental institution on my birthday. And I just love screws more than anything. So he said that he would bring me there and buy me all the screws I want. And I remember like getting these looks from the people there, and, you know, not really understanding. Like, I was just like, what's their fucking problem? You know, and I was like, anyway. And so they thought I was just having the time of my life. And then, you know, not long ago, I went down to my parents for Father's Day down in rural Georgia, and there's just like this grocery store, and there's this, like, I don't know, probably like a 17-year-old girl at checkout, and we're just buying stuff to grill out, and this is dark. This gets dark, so prepare for it. And he, and we're just checking out, and she's like, "Oh, doing a Father's Day thing?" And I was like, you know, and before I could answer, he was like, "No, he just got out of prison." And she's like, "Oh," and he's like, "He got convicted of rape, but he didn't do it." And then I'm just like, what the fuck? And so, like, yeah, that's my dad's sense of humor. So pretty hard sometimes to deal with, but also makes for legendary stories. But yeah. Yep. So that's, anyway. Yeah. So that's a stream. So yeah, work with that, but don't worry about winning. Like, everybody's gonna get a prize. The winning prize is not that far off from the other prize. It would be stressful if he like did that at my shows or something, but like, you know, I'm never gonna see that teller again, so I don't really care. But yeah, all right. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you next week. Bye.